Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
I am Rungwin.
We got some cool stuff to talk about this week, but real quick, just a quick reminder, clips are now open again to Twitch subs, so if you are a Twitch sub and you want to clip something, go for it, clip it whenever you want, and if your clip is funny enough, if you pick the right clip, it'll wind up as a YouTube short as well, so keep that in mind.
Nice.
Clip responsibly. No, yeah, we got a fun week ahead of us. We got reviews are back this week. We got some announcements. We got some news. We have a really fun thing we're going to be doing after weeks. And then, Runger's got a corner like always. So,
yeah. Got stuff to talk about.
I just came up with a really dumb joke that I don't know how to work in. So I'm just going to tell it straight. And
Okay.
all of you, and Chad included, shut me down. But when we build up enough corners with Rungren, he'll be able to make a 10-story house.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible.
Yeah. All right. Let's hit weeks. I'm sick. I've got a fever.
All right.
Can you tell?
It'd be great.
So normally I pass it to you first for weeks, but this time I'd like to hit weeks first if you don't mind.
Okay, we'll take off. How was your week, Trey?
Well, my girlfriend was sick, and then I was sick.
Okay.
Because she got me sick. I'm gonna blame her. But because of that, I spent a lot of time in bed watching The Boys.
Okay.
Which we finished.
Okay.
All the way through season 3. And I'm probably going to do like a full review on the channel here of like all 3 seasons. Because I really liked it. I think that is a great show. It has its problems, but it's really good.
So, without going too much into review,
right?
One, I think that show was very strongly cast.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody that's cast does a great job.
Yes,
like the perfect guy for a Homelander, perfect guy for A-Train. Everybody, feels natural in that role, right? Now, do you know anything about the original story?
I don't. I've never read it.
Okay, so Black Noir is a completely different character in the original story, but where it's sitting right now, there's been in a couple of videos, I haven't watched them yet, of theories for next season.
Yeah.
No, nothing with
That's
spoilers.
Fair.
Nice.
It's tough.
Rather than going into full details of what next season will be about, do you think Huey and Butcher will get full-on powers next season or not?
I think one of them will. I don't think both will.
Okay. Because that seems to be the brunt of the whole conversation.
Yeah.
Or a lot of the conversation around it is who gets powers.
Yeah. No, I have a lot I want to say about that show, and obviously we're not going into super spoilers here. So like I said, I'm probably going to do a full review of all 3 seasons. But my favorite character is unironically the character that shows up in season 3. Who is the main driving force of season 3. I didn't think that was going to be my favorite character, but just something about that character just really hit home for me of like, this is perfect, like tragic hero that doesn't realize he's a tragic hero, Deep is pretty great. Deep's pretty great. But I also wound up really loving A-Train in a way that I didn't think I was going to.
Trying to avoid too many spoilers.
Right.
Yeah, he has got a really weird storyline that gets really strange there at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, what? And I'm kind of interested to see how that turns out.
I am too. I'm very interested. And then of course I really love Butcher. Butcher is a very flawed character in so many ways. And then I got a special soft spot in my heart for Frenchie and Kimiko.
Oh yeah. Good characters. Well played.
Yeah. And then I played a good chunk of Fire Emblem 3 Hopes while in bed.
Really?
It's on the Switch. You know, it's a good game to play on
Yeah.
the Switch. I think handheld it plays worse than on docked, but
Okay.
which is the same for most Switch games that are graphically intensive. Um, Dynasty Warriors wise, this is a really cool Dynasty Warriors game.
Okay.
It has a really nifty system using weapon durability, where you have a combat art system where you can find drops in the level that restore durability. Combat arts are very powerful, but if you use too many of them, your weapon breaks and you do less damage.
Okay.
And so you have to balance around that. You have up to 4 different playable characters at any time that you can switch between. You can order anybody you're not currently playing as into different parts of the map. And you can team characters up together so that they can back up the other character through a pair-up mechanic. So even if they get low health, they can still like team up with you and be able to do good damage. It's really solid Dynasty Warriors wise. I think it's a really cool combat system. Yes, that is the deep. But I think even more interestingly, it's a great Fire Emblem game.
Okay.
Because it adds in the Fire Emblem permadeath to Dynasty Warriors.
Oh.
Hey, don't let your people die, because if they die, you don't get to use them again. They're gone. They're dead.
Yeah.
And in a Dynasty Warriors game, that's tough, right?
Yeah.
But you still have the class changing, which you can do, and you can toggle the permadeath off. There is a casual mode. That's what it's called. Okay. I'm not calling people casual. That's what it's called. But you can change classes in there and get different stuff. I put some of my people on horses. I put some of my people on Pegasi. I'm looking to put somebody on a wyvern. Each of the classes feels visually distinct, while also each of the characters that are in the same class still have a slight difference to them because of their different abilities. They still have their crest from Three Houses. And the way that it changes the story of Three Houses really works for me. Like, Three Houses goes, hey, we're going to introduce this character named Byleth, and this character named Byleth gets to make choices, and because of that, things go different. Three Hopes goes, hey, the characters never met Byleth, so things that Byleth brought to happen don't happen, and so things take the natural course they would have otherwise.
Okay.
And that's not necessarily a good thing, but it means that you get different aspects to all these different characters in a really cool way.
Okay.
I like it a lot.
In depth.
Yeah, it's deep, and you don't even get like co-op until chapter 4, because they want you to get through these systems. They want you to really get a feel for it. It's great, but if you have not yet played Three Houses, it is full of spoilers. In the first cutscene, they specifically have like a character that is named in that cutscene that doesn't get named until the last cutscene of one of the Houses playthroughs in the main game. They expect you to have already played Three Houses or to not care.
Yeah.
No, the person they didn't meet is in the game, but the person that you play as in Three Houses is a villain in Three Hopes, which is really interesting.
You're ruined.
So it's really cool. I think that if you're a fan of Fire Emblem or a fan of Dynasty Warriors, you should check it out. But if you're a fan of both, you absolutely have to check it out.
Okay. That's cool. I like some. There's an arc of Dynasty Warriors I really enjoyed, and there's some that shall not be named.
Right? Maybe they'll eventually make another game after 8. That after 8, because there was nothing after 8.
Yes,
no games existed after 8. Yeah, the second one. It's pretty cool. And what I like about that is that Byleth as a character doesn't get a lot of characterization in Three Houses. Like, Byleth is a blank slate that you make into the character you want it to be. And in Three Hopes, Byleth is a character with dialogue and everything. And it's just like, hey, if you're going to get in my way, I will cut you down. And it's like, okay, all right. This is already more interesting than Byleth ever was for me in the main game. So, and the character you're playing as is actually a character as well. Shez has like a full personality and dialogue, and you get to make choices between dialogue options, but it's always Shez's way of saying it. It's kind of like playing a shepherd, right? You get to choose what he says, but Shepherd's going to be the one that says it, you know?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Shez was not the other game.
And it's that look, those games make me nervous.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, pet kitty, and you reach up and snap its neck.
My
That's not.
favorite is when you get a moment in Mass Effect 2 where you go to a bar and you're trying to talk to a guy, and the options are accuse him and glass him. And you have a glass in front of you, and it's like, okay, well, this will clearly be, sliding the glass to him to try and build up a friendship. And instead, it's like Shepard walks over and smashes the glass on the side of his head. And it's like, oh, all right, that's not what I thought we were going to do, but okay.
Scene would have worked much better in Detective Pikachu.
Yeah. Man, when's Detective Pikachu 2 get announced? Come on. So, yeah. Three Hopes. It's pretty good. I like it. I'm definitely excited to put more time into it. Hey, well, how's your week been, Rickard?
Actually, it's been pretty interesting. I beat Call of Duty World War II, PS4.
Yeah.
Just on regular difficulty, the normal difficulty.
Right.
Well, I set it up. Not a bad war. I don't think it's my favorite story.
Yeah.
Line. I was really kind of. I don't like that they don't have campaign co-op.
That's fair.
But it is the other modes in it are okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's by far it's groundbreaking or anything. I don't know if I can go back and play it, but the money that was put into it, the cutscenes,
yeah,
we're done really well.
Nice.
Yeah, I know it's an older game, but I'm kind of a sucker of World War II games. I can't help it.
I don't blame you. Forgot to do the podcast notifications.
What?
Doing it now.
Why?
I got busy talking about YouTube. There we go. No, I think that's a solid one. I think it definitely falls under the weight of, hey, this game was less trying to tell a story and more of it's just World War II, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, but there's some really good. I'm trying to think of some other games. Band of Brothers.
Yeah, Band of Brothers is very good.
I thought it was very good, and the what was it? The one I went through the Road to Hell.
Yeah,
and the Medal of Honor, the paratrooper one. I thought.
That was very good.
But this one.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I tell you my problem with this Call of Duty specifically story mode?
Sure.
You have to run through the burning of the library in Berlin. It's one of the biggest tragedies in all of literature. And as you're running through that burning library, one of your characters goes, "Man, these books are on fire!" And it's like, yeah, they are. They sure are.
Yeah. It didn't do. I think where it failed is the other cuts for me was the other cutscenes, like when you jump over the tank.
Yeah.
And there's another one where you jump over and you're flying an airplane, and it just didn't. I thought there could be more of that.
Yeah.
And so when those scenes, was one scene with the tank, one scene with the plane, right? And it was just like thrown in there. Yeah. I don't know who these people are. I don't, So overall, it wasn't bad. I don't know if I'll play it outside the other modes in it.
Right.
Again.
Oh, yeah, I did play. Nice. Good.
True Fear Part 2. Dread Out 2. Oh gosh.
Lots of twos.
Yeah. Lots of twos. What's going on with the sequels? Of course I did play some Lotro the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, ran around. Max level. They've got some that's some strange things going on there. That their producer left after a year.
Okay.
And I'll probably say the name wrong. Renina was the producer over there. And he brought some pretty good stuff to the game, making a lot of the stuff free, and the way he was really great at communicating interviews and his producer letter and things like that. And he's leaving on the 1 year anniversary. He said he's got another opportunity somewhere. Which of course got small community that still talks.
Yeah.
The we were wondering because he was kind of I think he comes from mobile games.
Right.
Monetization do that, and I don't think it's going to hold out.
Yeah.
Like those ideas are going to hold out for Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah, it's
So
a
I
very
don't
different
know.
kind of beast.
Yeah, I don't know. He brought some good things. His last producer letter goes up through September. So I get, I guess the Standing Stone is hiring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything else yet. So it's kind of, I don't know how to take it as a player.
Yeah.
Kind of concerned, but kind of not.
I understand.
Not really much else to go on.
Okay.
So I think we can talk a little bit about Gundam.
Yeah.
Because we finished that off. We finished off the first season, the original
Yeah.
OG series.
Keto Senshi
Finished it off.
Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam, First Gundam, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
79 Gundam.
The which was a good show. I liked it quite a bit. I mean, it had some low points. The 1 year war, yeah.
The Salt Run.
Yeah. That didn't make much sense.
Yeah.
To me, what I like out of it, because I'm a big fan of Dune.
Yeah.
Frank Herbert's Dune, and it was like there's so much of that felt to me that was lifted from Dune,
right,
and put into that. The leader of the Principality of Xeon was like the Baron Harkonian.
Yeah.
He's the Mob Dib. Amuro is the Mob Dib. There's just parallels there for me, and I thought it was very interesting, very well done. It's one of the interesting things that's about it was watching how the animation, getting to watch them all that close together.
Yeah.
Watching how the animation goes.
Yeah.
Like you can see when a lot of stuff's just copy and pasted, and then you can see there's some episodes where there's been some time in it.
Yeah.
Each seems original. I don't know who's my favorite character though.
I have a lot of questions for you, but I wanted to let you continue on before I start asking them.
Let me read a little bit. I don't know. I think the story, obviously, I don't think the story of Amuro is necessarily anything new. It was packaged new.
Right.
Matilda is. Yeah. I agree with that. There's so many things in that show that's iconic that comes later.
Yeah.
The from something as simple as like the mask look on a robot on a giant robot like that, you see that again and again.
Yep.
Going through like GoBots and Transformers and other things. I'm trying to think if there's anything in the story besides Assault Run that's just didn't really make much sense.
Right.
And
for anybody who doesn't know, when we're talking about the Salt Run, we're talking about because it's famous for Gundam fans, but like the run of episodes where they're trying to get salt when they're about to go over the ocean.
Yeah. And
yeah.
They do a pretty good deal of showing the new types.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away, which it seems they do have some kind of psychic energy,
right,
psychic power, if you will. And then, but they're also much more in tune with the Gundams.
Yeah.
Themselves. They've started building Gundams towards the idea of new types.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I haven't seen any more.
Chat, don't spoil that for him because Zeta's going to carry a lot more of that forward.
Yeah. It has to.
The new types, like a lot of people say that First Gundam is a show that's half and half, right? It's half a really good robot show that's also a really good war drama, and then it's half new type nonsense. And I think when you call it new type nonsense, I think you're not trying to engage with the new type stuff going on, because I think, yes, it is weird in a lot of ways, but it's not trying to be obtuse, right? It's very clear what's going on. There's a psychic connection here that doesn't seem to matter distance or anything like that, as long as they're connected, and they can do things with it.
Yeah, yeah. This was another thing that reminded me of Dune, because when it's described in Dune how Paul Atreides sees the future. He
Right.
doesn't see he sees it like waves. So
Yeah.
he only gets pictures. He doesn't see the valleys in between them
Right.
through that. And it kind of keeps it has to keep it on that. They can't explain everything.
Yeah.
You know, don't the last thing Gundam needs is which of course is much later, but as a midichlorian moment.
Right.
You
For
know?
sure.
That part of it doesn't need to be science based. I mean, it could go into quantum entanglement or
I wasn't
whatever.
gonna say it, Will. I wasn't gonna say it.
I've been avoiding videos telling me why I should watch that. Those videos on my suggested list, why I should watch. And I was like, I will one day. We're gonna get to it.
We'll get to Unicorn. We'll get to Unicorn.
Yes. But
So I
I
do
did
think. Oh, go ahead.
go
Sorry.
ahead.
I
Go
was gonna
ahead.
say
Yeah.
to Dark. I do think that Char's 180 in the last episode. It does make sense to me, but it's mostly because that had been his goal for all his life, and then he found Lala, and Lala became the most important thing in his life. And then after losing her, he tried to keep her will going forward because he may not be as strong as new type as Amuro, but he is still a new type, and he was still connected to her, right?
Yeah.
He tried to keep her dream going forward, but then right at the last step, opportunity knocks, and how can you say no?
So I think I think he took a little chagrin to the fact that wasn't he didn't do it.
Yeah.
He'd planned and plotted all this to do this.
Yeah.
And it was the ridiculous internal politics.
Yep.
They
He
got
didn't
him
get to get Degwin. He didn't get to get Girin.
No. He got the one that was the least important to him.
Yeah. The one that he might have let live otherwise. But we get that incredible line, Garma, I'm sending your sister to join you. Heck yeah. So I do have a set of questions for you.
Okay.
The first one was going to be favorite character, but I understand where you're coming from. It's tough to choose, you know?
Yeah.
What was your favorite robot in the series? What was your favorite mech?
I know it may be redundant, but it's the actual Gundam.
Yeah. It's a good suit.
Yeah. One, because I think in my head, even without having watched it, it's still iconic.
Yeah.
For me. And because it was unique in the show.
Yeah.
The show wouldn't be the show if they didn't have the mechs from Xeon.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work. And there's something timely about a couple of those. The Zaku's, yes. Especially when you see them first, right? Especially when you see them first in the first episode and how much bigger they are coming down the mountain, getting to around houses and stuff and the base. So there's something kind of special about Zaku.
I love the Gian, Dark. Gian is one of my big favorites. I love it.
But out of that series, man, I think I'm just gonna go with the Gundam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite of the villains? Because Gundam's weird in that they're not villains per se, right? They all have their own individual goals. Girin's a villain for sure, but other than that, it's all about their desires.
I wish we'd have got more of Rambaral.
Yeah, Rambaral's so good.
I think they could that could have taken a couple of the Salt episodes out, going over his arc.
100%. Man, I like Rambaral.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll go with. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's so great that there is a almost like an anniversary series later on that has references to a bunch of characters, and he gets a really nice reference because he's a fan favorite. Everybody loves Rambaral. He's great.
Well, out of all of them, you can tell I don't know. To me, he seemed like he had a code of honor that he was going to oblige. You know, he was going to stand by.
Yeah,
and that's how he lived. And it wasn't the Principality of Xeon code of honor. It was his.
Right.
But yeah.
My last big question for you here is: what are your predictions? And chat, let's not tell him yes or no. What are your predictions for the next series? Because I've got it right here. We're gonna be watching Zeta Gundam next.
Okay.
Which doesn't want to show up. There we go.
All right. Nice. Okay. I I think they're gonna dive. They're gonna dive a little stronger into the new types and things, and the Gundams connected to the new types.
Yep.
And how they got ads.
Ads. 30 seconds or a minute, right at the worst time.
Yeah.
No, I think that real quick then, while we're in ads, I'll say my favorite character in First Gundam. It's a weird pull because everybody expects me to say Char Aznable and Amuro Ray because they know I love Char, but it's Bright Noah.
Bright's yeah.
I adore Mr. Bright.
Yeah.
Switch is back.
He made a couple mistakes. Okay, we're back. Thank y'all for letting us know that.
Yeah,
too.
appreciate it.
Y'all. That's awesome. Love the chat. So I'm thinking we're going to dig into the new types.
Yeah.
And how, and maybe not how the Gundams are connected to them, but we're going to start seeing more individualistic and better models.
Yeah.
I mean, Gundams in the show.
Yeah. I mean, look, we had the Sakurello last season. I mean, at this point, anything's an improvement. Over that, the ball.
Yeah. Draw a ball with a cannon on it. It's fine.
Why not?
It works. There has to be. I think there's going to be an uprising because even in the first from Zeon, because I think even in the first season, or the first show, there you get there's aspects you get from the Zeons that are not, they're people too.
Right. That's the Zaccarello. Dark. That's the Zaccarello. That's the face one with the scythes.
But the I think it'll be about putting down small uprisings of Zeon.
Okay.
Really digging into the new types. And we'll probably see more Gundams both on the Federation side as they try to extrapolate on what Amuro's done.
Yeah.
And also on the Zeon side, just from what because Zeon jumped into the new types earlier.
Right.
Really, except for Amuro's dad.
Yeah.
So I think we'll
Amuro's dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm really stoked because the plan moving forward is, and it's subject to change. Don't forget, chat. But the plan moving forward is to watch Zeta, and then watch Double Zeta, and then watch Char's Counterattack, and to finish that quadrilogy. Zeta is widely considered to be the best one, and Double Zeta is widely considered to be one of the worst ones. So it's going to be really interesting to have those back to back. But you really do need the context that they give. A lot of people say just skip Double Zeta, but
no, we'll watch everything we can.
Yeah,
I don't see any point in watching the movies right now because that's just smashed together episodes.
Yeah, but after Char's Counterattack, then we're kind of going to be open. We'll see how things go. We might wind up doing a poll with some of our favorite choices, but we might go back and do Universal Century stuff. We might go do alternate universe stuff. And so I wanted to just real quick throw this at you. The timeline's really weird in where you got Gundam, Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta Gundam, Char's Counterattack, 8th MS Team, Stardust Memory, Unicorn, Victory. Those are all in one timeline. NF91. Those are all in one timeline.
Is it Blood Orphans?
So Iron Blooded Orphans is in its own timeline, and War in the Pocket. Thank you. Iron Blooded Orphans is its own timeline. Seed is its own timeline. Double O is its own timeline. Wing is its own timeline. Build Fighter is its own timeline. We have so much Gundam that is not connected to Universal Century at all.
But we have the 4 series. Well, after the 4 series, then I guess we'll flip a coin.
Yeah,
what we can,
because they're all worth watching in my mind. But it really comes down to when we want to watch them.
After we get through that, maybe release date.
Release date would be a good way to do it because at that point we start getting into some really cool stuff, like G Gundam.
I think release date would be good because I also help put it in time.
Yeah,
like what's going on.
That also means that we get to watch some of the absolutely terrible ones.
Yeah.
Because there are a few. There are a few. Look, when we get to age, those first 13 episodes are going to be great. And then, I love G Gundam. G Gundam's great. So yeah, I'm excited for it. Any other final thoughts on Gundam before we move on?
I don't think so. I'm looking forward to going into this next season.
Zeta.
I think they've got some explaining to do with Amuro and really building him up. So we'll see. We'll see.
Zeta is a ride. I mean, why did you trust me to begin with? Look, SD Gundam. SD Gundam is not, the original SD Gundam is not good. SD Gundam Brave Force is not good, but it has some really cool ideas, such as the Wing Gundam from, like, Gundam Wing being a knight because of the shoulder pads. That's cool. But the SD versions, I don't even know if you know this exists, the SD versions, SD Sengokuden, the SD versions of Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Oh, no.
Where the characters are Gundams, is really good.
There might be some bias in that. There might be some bias in that. If you know, because it's got more to do probably with Romance of the Three Kingdoms than Gundam.
Yeah,
I would bet.
Yeah.
But, look, I'm getting advertisements for a. I don't know. It looks to me like Cao Cao has time traveled to the future and is out partying.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
I didn't dream that. It's a real thing.
So that's not Cao Cao though. It's Zhuge Liang. That's a really good anime actually.
Okay.
No, but Cao Cao is the Wing Gundam in SD Gundam Sengokunen. And Lu Bu's the Senanju from Unicorn.
All right.
Well, let's move on to reviews then. So, it's good to finally have reviews back, right?
Yes.
We don't have huge name titles, and I hadn't heard of two of these before they popped up for review.
Okay.
But that
one of them you can't help hearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this first game is As Dusk Falls, which is a story-based game. I believe we talked a little bit about it with like the branching paths, the story when it was first announced. But I completely forgot it existed after that. I don't know if that's marketing or just there's too much on my radar.
Yeah, I don't know. Because there's an older movie called Near Dusk. It's great.
Right.
As Dusk Falls.
This is a crime drama with a branching storyline.
82.
82? Okay.
Start out with some hope here. Yes.
Let's see what you think, chat. It sounds so great now that the batteries are changed. I'm just waiting for it to start like again.
Yeah, 76 and dark.
Okay. Oh, let me pull up the ice cream. I forgot.
How dare you? 86 from Waverly. 82 from Faith. We'll give it a 73. Ugh. We're getting ice cream.
I forgot to mention during the Gundam thing, but I'm really excited now when I talk about games like SD Gundam Battle Alliance that's coming out, that when I go Granddaddy Gundam, you're going to go, I know that Gundam.
Yeah, seen that
one. So, yeah, the score on this one's 77.
Man.
So it just darts all around it.
Yes, we did.
I have some interesting reviews for you today.
Okay.
Game Informer says, As Dusk Falls hides many secrets down the winding path of its story web, and by its nature, you won't get the full picture in any single playthrough, encouraging replayability. But you may also be tempted to play through one take on the story and step away, content that you've seen your version play out. Either way, this is a weighty and gratifying excursion into interactive drama, confident enough in its writing to not rely on superpowers or fantasy, For players interested in the progress of interactive narrative frameworks, it's a laudable success. But even for someone who never plays games, it works. That's because good characters and storytelling make for a universal experience, and this is a project that has both. That might be the best blurb we've had in years.
I feel I know something about the game.
I'm floored.
Wow.
You just know I'm going to follow that up with a great one, right? Xbox Achievement says, normally with a choice-driven adventure, I'm once and done, ready for a post-game water cooler discussion. As Dusk Falls warrants more than one playthrough, if only to see how differently things can pan out. If that open ending is any indication, there's more to come. It's not bad.
Okay. I got to give the same review for Oxenfree.
Right? Yeah, for sure. Our good friend Dean Takahashi from GamesBeat is back, and I know I don't normally say the names of the writer, but this is the Cuphead man. As Dusk Falls is a valiant attempt to tell a good crime drama where actions have consequences. The story went on a lot longer than I expected, as the tense moments at the motel spawned a lot of different threads, both flash forwards and flashbacks, that I didn't expect. But ultimately, the tale failed to move me in the way that I'd hoped for. What was the way you'd hoped for?
Yeah.
What did you want it to do that it didn't do? Explain, Dean Takahashi.
I mean, was he expecting something like a digital novel or something?
Right.
That they needed more depth of character? More information, please, sir.
Sure, I care about his opinion when he can't figure out a double jump. Look, I'm not trying to start a mob or anything, but if you've never watched those videos, watch him play Cuphead and Doom Eternal. And I don't know how anybody does that and uploads that video. I would have burned that video. I'd have burned the computer that video was on. So you've heard some reviews. What do you think?
We'll go down a couple points. We go 80. Something to hit those high marks. So I'm going with 80.
Okay. Chat, this is your opportunity. Oh yeah, you gotta watch him play Doom Eternal.
77 from Doc again.
All right.
She brought up a point. 79.
Okay. The score is
78 at 76.
75.
Oh. Oh man.
The dartboard is littered all around the target.
Oh gosh. Oh man.
Next up, we have Endling. This is a weird title. Endling, Extinction is Forever.
Well, I think Jurassic Park proved that wrong.
Right. This is a weird title. It's made by Hero Beat Studios, and it's about a family of foxes trying to survive.
Okay.
What do you think?
2D or 3D?
It is, man, that's hard to say. It is 2D or it's 3D on a 2D scale, as far as I can tell.
Okay. I got 84.
84? Become friends with a hound dog.
Yeah. Right.
You ain't nothing but.
Don't do it.
Couldn't go any further.
96, 82, 70.
The score is
90.
79.
Oh. Ugh.
If you're watching this later on YouTube, by the way, and you want to be a part of this game, the YouTube chat works too. So just jump in at 7 CT, and we'll, add you into the scores.
Man.
So, I started off with a great review last time, right?
Let's rectify that.
Tech Raptor says, Endling, Extinction is Forever may not be perfect, but the story and experience it provides is a cut above.
Oh, wow. All you're missing is, where to buy it.
Right?
I know.
Cog Connected says, Endling, Extinction is Forever is more than a game. It's a statement. The commitment from Hero Beat Studios to portray an honest view of how humans affect the environment is commendable. While there are heart-wrenching moments in the game that some may find too difficult to consume, it's an incredible experience that will leave a lasting mark. So I'm going to follow that one up with Gaming Trend that says, the events in Endling create sad emotions, but they do not connect with how mankind is destroying the Earth. Events happen and we're supposed to feel something because they happened, but the emotions are diminished because there's no connection to the message or the characters. It's held up in the short 5 hours of play thanks to intriguing survival mechanics, but even those were messed up by an unfortunate, frustrating tug of war between survival and story progression.
Okay.
So it may connect to the destruction of environments and it may not.
Well, I'm kind of wondering about the other review, because if you'd have caught me to ask me about a review, like the first time I got through Shadow of the Colossus or something like that,
yeah,
it would be pretty emotionally driven. The
100%, and that game 100% feels like it's about the destruction we cause, without telling you that's what it's about.
No, and it draws you in. You're tied to the story, so. I don't know. I'm going to go. Basically, I'm going to go with 78.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 78. Yes.
The whole thing is about humans destroying the planet by climate change and fracking. I don't doubt it. 92. What you got, chat? 80.
I've got a 92 and an 80.
82. The answer is 79. Oh, that 76 came in right before. Very, very close. Very, very close.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder what they're holding against it.
Yeah.
And what's keeping it from being being that next level.
Yeah. I wonder if it's just some people just didn't resonate with that kind of story. You know, I hate to get close to political here, but there are some people that just don't care about the impact that people have on the planet. And I'm not saying those people don't care. I'm just saying, you know, in general.
Yeah. I don't know. Another game about boxes.
Yeah, we are doomed. Next up is Stray.
This game has been everywhere.
Yep. This game does not have the problem that Dusk Falls has with marketing.
We were marketing for him.
Yeah. Do you want to play a game about cats?
And this, not only is it about cats, some of the screen images and gameplay looks really good.
Yeah.
It looked really, really good.
7 seconds of lag. Oof.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be highly rated. 94. I want this to be a top game.
Sorry, my ads just refreshed on OpenCritic, and I'm laughing about the ads that I got. Okay. I've got an ad for Adobe. I've got an ad for Guild Wars 2, and then I've got an ad for Adam and Eve. It's like, oh, those things pretty far away from each other, I think.
So what do we got? 92, 2 92s, and 87.
And you said?
I said 94 and an 88.
And an 88. The answer is 84.
84.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of reviews for this game. It was very difficult for me to pick review outlets, but I feel pretty solid about the ones I chose.
Okay.
So I want to start off here with Oyungizer Online that says, monsters that can chew through metal, a forgetful drone, lots of ontological questions you can push from the high ground as a cat. All of these come together and create a sincere and compact story that you should definitely experience. And that doesn't really tell me a lot about the game, but it's a lot of words that made me go, oh. So,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. All right.
I want to read you this one just because when I got to this review, I I couldn't understand what happened here. We got this covered. Says a great deal of care went into Stray, and the attention to detail and its beautifully crafted world make it a unique, worthwhile experience. If you took the word Stray out of that, you could put that on anything.
Yeah, that's kind of what they marketed as. I think that was their marketing poster. Looks good. You're a cat.
I have a good review. I say it's a good review. We'll see what you think.
Okay.
Worth Playing says Stray hits all the right marks for a memorable adventure game. The ability to play solely as a normal cat with normal cat abilities is alluring. It's a great game hook, but every other element does their part to keep one playing. The familiar story remains fascinating, as do the characters you meet. The world is great to explore, while the game's overall pacing and mechanics keeps you glued until the end. It's been a pretty good year for games thus far, and Stray is currently up there with Elden Ring and Tunic as being serious contenders for the best the year has to offer.
I think they're going to recommend at 88. I'm going to give it 88.
Okay.
Recommended score.
I have one more review I want to read you just because it's special.
It's special?
Anayat Games says, an enjoyable yet surprisingly insecure game that fails to bring its aesthetic and mechanical proposal to any narrative conclusion.
What is an insecure game? Is there a patch? Can we fix that?
I understand. I read through 90 reviews to get to this and found this blurb and went, huh?
Oh, goodness.
So, all right, yeah.
You know what? I think this game has got people got some pretty strong feelings about this game.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think I said 88.
88, okay.
Yeah, so we got 3 88s, a 92, and an 87.
All right.
Yes. Goodness.
Somebody give this game a hug. That's all I'm saying.
It's insecure.
The answer is 92. Dark.
Good. Hey, Dark got some ice cream.
Dark gets on the board again.
Man.
All right, let me put Dark up there. That's the end of reviews, so Dark gets to be up there for the rest of the podcast.
Yay! Ice cream.
All right. Now we get into our announcements. No fair. I mean, the dairy goddess. Every week we do reviews that we have reviews to do. There was a suggestion the other day that
it's not sponsors if they want to.
There was a suggestion the other day that was like, hey, if you don't have any games to review, pick a movie or TV show and we'll do reviews on it. It's like, I mean, that's not a bad idea. But announcement-wise, we have some pretty heavy hitters right away. Bayonetta 3 finally has a release date of 10/28.
Which I'm surprised it's taken so long. You'd almost expect these to be put out like Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
But it's probably good for the brand to wait a little while.
Yeah, I think so too. And this one has garnered a little bit of backlash because, right, there is a mode that allows you to turn off the excessive, it's not excessive, but to turn off the nudity. So for anybody who doesn't know, you don't actually see nudity per se, but Bayonetta, her abilities come from her hair, which also is her clothes.
Yeah.
So when she uses her moves, her clothes come up and off so that she can attack. And this mode is optional. It's not forced on anybody. It's just so if you want to play it in front of your kids, you can. Like, it's a Switch game. Of course they're going to have a mode like this. People need to relax. You can play it without it. It's literally not a problem.
Yeah. The whole one, or not the whole selling point, but one of the selling points is, she's a sexy witch,
and she likes being sexy.
Yes, with the little librarian glasses. The
mode has not existed in the previous ones.
No. And it's just, I don't know how, I want to be careful saying this because Bayonetta represents like one of the biggest arguments I have against, or one of the biggest arguments I hear against, uh, video games,
Yeah.
right? Indulging the male
Right.
ego. Oh, Spanx Angel's literally right.
She does.
Sure does. So we'll have to see how this goes out and what the hubbub comes up about it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's going to be ridiculous arguments about the modes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think this should be. I think this is a perfectly good example that you can put a safe mode on.
Yeah, it's a good compromise. This is not censorship.
I mean, is it Gears of War? You can turn off the blood.
Yeah, it turned it into sparks.
Yeah. So I actually kind of like it. I mean, I think it brings some freedom to the game.
I do too. And it means that I could show my siblings sick combos without getting in trouble with my mother. I could go over to their house and show it off and be like, yeah, you know?
That's cool. So at the end of October, that's fitting.
Yeah, I think so too. And it means that it will be a full release in stores on the 31st, which is perfect. So, you know, it's Bayonetta. What's there not to say? I mean, or what is there to say, I guess? Because, like, the combat in Bayonetta is pristine. It's perfect in many ways. And this is going to be more of that. Why would that be a bad thing?
Yeah.
I don't think it's them adding the mode per se, Dark, as much as Nintendo requesting the mode. Nintendo is the only reason why Bayonetta exists, you know? Because they saved Bayonetta with Bayonetta 2. They're the ones that made that happen. And so I don't have a problem at all with Nintendo going, hey, let's have a mode for the third one where kids can see it too.
Yeah. Also opens up a bigger market.
Yeah, it does. And when it eventually comes to Steam, you know, then we'll get that mode that Dark wants.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But while we're talking about Nintendo, Nintendo Pictures has been announced. What is the first movie going to be? Obviously the Mario movie, right? But what's the first movie with it Nintendo Pictures going to be? It has to be Legend of Zelda, right?
Yeah, because the cartoon went over so well.
Right.
I don't know. I think they're going to do they're going to have a couple things in the works because a Metroid movie would be great.
Be so good.
Or terrible.
Right.
Could be. But I think they'll wait and see how the Mario movie goes.
Yeah.
And what they do with it.
This is a full studio that they have made. They're going to be getting animators, good to go there. It's going to be Nintendo making movies now, and I can almost guarantee you that it is because of how well the Sonic movies have been received. That Nintendo's going, all right, yeah, it's time. We made Detective Pikachu and then didn't do anything about it, so
yeah. Well, Nintendo's got a lot of IPs. They've got some more they've picked up over past couple years.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They may go in and have a few different. If the Mario movie goes over big, they'll have a few different ones.
Yeah.
They'll push forward.
Yeah.
Hopefully on different or not hopefully necessarily. I think it would be wise to hit different platforms.
I think so too. And
have a movie, have a series.
I want to see like weird Nintendo stuff too. I want like a Kirby movie or a Pikmin movie. I want just like a weird pull.
I'm not going to the theater on Smash movie night. I'm just saying.
Hey, it's good that it's coming through early then. The notification for the song. Nintendo could make another Pokemon live action. Yeah, Detective Pikachu was good.
Yeah. And they've always got Pokemon in their pocket. And I think I don't know if they'll try to go right out the bat with that to get something big off the start, or just have that there that they know that they could sell.
Yeah,
because I think Pokemon were probably bigger than any of their other IPs.
I think you're right. I just had an idea. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It will never happen, but here's my crackpot theory for the movie that would make them millions. The Fast and the F-Zero.
No. Well, you'll have to buy $40,000 worth of stock.
That's true. But Dominic Toretto hand in hand with Captain Falcon.
No, seriously, an F-Zero movie would be interesting. I mean, we haven't had, golly, Racer X came out when?
Yeah, no, for sure. Give me a good like space racing movie.
Yeah, a good sci-fi racing movie. I think that could be a good one, actually. Not.
And just imagine like an orchestral version of the Blue City track. Heck yeah. That's my pull.
I wish them luck. I'm afraid she's going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
No.
Look, all I'm saying is imagine the scene where Dominic Toretto is standing there and he goes, "We're going to need some help for this one." And then Captain Falcon walks into the room and goes, "Show me your moves." And we'll get this frame on. No, they're just going to make an Ocarina of Time TV series and they're going to butcher it.
Yeah, it's going to take 23 years to get the last Triforce.
Yeah, that's Nintendo Pictures, but we're not done with the Nintendo news this week because Mario Strikers Battle League is getting some free updates, which are pretty cool. Now, I haven't kept up with this game at all, but honestly, it's some pretty cool stuff here. I put that tab.
Did you lose it?
That's that one. Here we go. How much longer till the SD Battle Alliance? Too long, unfortunately. I think we still have like 4 months.
Now, when did this come out? This wasn't long ago.
Yeah, this came out earlier in the year. Yeah, August 25th is when Battle Alliance is coming up, by the way. So it's not a couple months. It's right around the corner, which is great. So they promised when it came out there would be free updates. Mm-hmm. And there kind of hasn't been up until just bam, here we go. And they're giving Daisy as a free update. Plays Daisy now.
Cool.
Shy Guy has a free update. Plays the Shy Guy now. New gear, such as the Night gear that increases strength and shooting. And a new stadium.
That's cool.
Which is pretty cool. They also said that there will be 2 more free updates this year that'll have new characters, new stadium, new gear. So.
Okay. Well, plans for the future. Trying to keep their Mario Strikers game going.
Yeah. If you're interested in the game, that's good news, you know. Yeah, I kind of fell off of it, but you know, hey, it's there.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can play as Daisy now. Daisy has some pretty good stats. Her strength and technique are really, really solid. Her technique is 18 out of 25, so. Meanwhile, Shy Guys just balance across the board. 13, 12, 13, 13, 12. Yeah. Also, he's really tiny, and when he runs up in the video that I saw, he runs up like this and then stands back, and it's like, yeah, that's really cute. Yeah, Shy Guy. Then we have double D's. Then we have some Game Pass news.
Okay.
More Game Pass news. We just talked about Game Pass games not that long ago. But there's more coming this month, which is pretty cool. We've got Torment, Tides of Numenera, As Dusk Falls, Inside,
okay,
MotoGP 22, Watch Dogs 2, and then here's the big one for me, Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion. And there is a really old Let's Play on this channel where I was very sick, and I had taken a hefty dose of cough syrup and medication. And then in my very bad decision making at the time, decided to play a full campaign of Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion and record the whole thing. At one point, I legit fall asleep in the middle of that Let's Play. And I edited around it, so you just have like a minute of me being asleep. But I love that game. And it is a slow descent into madness as the cough syrup takes me on that Let's Play. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Great game. Check it out if you've never played it before. But we also have, in kind of a cool way, the announcements for, where did I put that tab? PlayStation Plus for this month as well.
Yes.
Which is Stray.
Very good.
Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which has some controversy about it. If you bought the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII Remake and upgraded to the PS5 version, you can't get Intergrade through this on PS5 because the PS5 version comes with it. So they're working on that. Hopefully they have that fixed soon. But I know you're excited for this game. Marvel's Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
Then
hopefully they load something from the yeah, never mind.
Yeah, no, for sure. Saints Row 4 re-elected and Saints Row Gat Out of Hell.
Okay.
Get ready, because there's some Assassin's Creed Unity, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered, Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, and Assassin's Creed the Ezio Collection.
2 out of 5 is not bad.
Yeah.
Golly, that's a lot of Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah. Also, this is really weird. I don't understand why this happened, but it did. PlayStation Plus premium members in Italy also get Dino Crisis, Ridge Racer 2, Soul Calibur Broken Destiny, No Heroes Allowed, and Loco Roco Midnight Carnival. But only if you're in Italy.
Huh. You're not about to jump into like a NordVPN sponsorship, are you?
I wish.
Okay. Okay.
My gut says it's probably just that they're adding those early and they didn't mean to announce they were adding those early. And the Italian blog just dropped that extra when they weren't supposed to, you know?
Yes.
But either way, Stray as a PS Plus game is great because I'd really like to cover that for the channel and not have to pay for it. So thanks, Sony. Then our final announcement for the week is a weird one, but one that I think is really cool. For a long time, there has been a company called Digital Extremes that has been making Warframe. Warframe has been their baby for a very long time. And Warframe, free to play, great game, not sponsored, but I've put hundreds of hours into it myself. It's a really, really good free to play PC game that I think you can now play on mobile as well. It's also on console, I believe, now too. Either way, they've announced that it's not a gacha game. No, it's all grinding. You can spend money to speed up the grind, or you can just grind it out, but you can get everything in that game by playing that game, which is pretty cool. Rebecca Ford, who has been like the face of Warframe for a long time, has transitioned to creative director, while the previous creative director, Steve Sinclair, has announced they're working on another game, which is crazy after all these years of just working on Warframe. But it's Soulframe, which is a fantasy game set the same like style with some of the same stuff going on. Okay. And the trailer is really cool because it's clear they've taken the same art that is in Warframe of, hey, we like cool, fast combat with nifty powers. And this is that, but fantasy.
Interesting.
I'm really stoked for this. They say basically that it's just started development, that Steve has worked on Warframe for 10 years, and he's really enjoyed that time. but now he wants to do something new for the team. He wants to make something new, and he wants to spend as much time with Soulframe as he did with Warframe. So,
hopefully it works out.
Yeah.
No release on that, huh?
Nothing yet. Just they're working on it. So, it's also a big thing because like Rebecca Ford has been like I said, the face of Warframe for a very long time, and so seeing that she is now in charge of Warframe is really cool. She's always been like a very, very outspoken dev when it comes to community. She's on most of the streams talking to people. She talks to people on Twitter. But most importantly to me, I mean, talking to your audience is great. She also plays other MMOs to be able to get a feel for it. She plays Guild Wars. She played Lotro. She played FF14. I believe she played WoW. I think she was working on ESO before their big patch that they were starting to talk about that made a bunch of people leave. But it's just really nice to have a creative director over a game that knows how the other MMOs work and is trying to make something different and unique.
Okay.
Yeah, Soulframe. It looks really cool. I'm stoked for it.
All right.
Speaking of really cool things, as we transition into the news, we have Amatsu Ken, who is fighting for game preservation.
Yeah.
So, for anybody who doesn't know, on June 13th, Amatsu Ken was elected into the Japanese government. And the man has done a lot of things over the course of his life. Politics is kind of new to him, but he is a mangaka, and he's worked on mangas such as AI I Love You, Itsudate Masanta, Love Hina, Negima, and UQ Holder. Sorry, that I always trip over that title. And Ground Forces Bao-chan as well. It's crazy to have a mangaka that is going, hey, it's important that we preserve stuff. And he started with manga, obviously, because that was his heart, right? But after he got elected, he's now also talking about game preservation. And one of the things he's pushing for is to remove, basically, to make emulation legal in Japan.
Wow.
Which has surprisingly got a lot of support, a lot more than I think people expected when he announced it.
Well,
Japan's very lax on copyright laws anyway.
Not that, but it's such a Japan's so ingrained in the history of video games.
Right.
It kind of makes sense if somebody was going to call for the preservation of it, it was going to be a lax on it unless it's
yeah.
That would be where I expect it would come from.
Right.
It's not something to really think about. I really put a lot of thought into, but it kind of seems like about time in a way.
Yeah, I agree.
Not necessarily making emulation legal,
right?
But preserving these codes, these machines that were, some were invented in garages.
Yeah,
and the code invented for them in garages.
Absolutely.
So.
And for sure, Dark, Nintendo's a weird outlier when it comes to the way Japan looks at copyright. Have a good one, Will.
Be careful, sir. Well, we can give examples. Nintendo, Toho.
Yeah.
Toei.
Yeah.
Other search there. But, I mean, this needs to go back. I mean, the first game was on a little oscilloscope.
Right.
It was a kind of a Pong game.
Yeah.
So I think this needs to be done for a couple of reasons. One, historically, it's going to be important. People need to understand see the progression, which retro games are going to become a thing again.
Yeah.
So protecting those, and two, how much technology have we got in the real world from the advancements in video games?
Absolutely.
Not only better graphics, but if you look at some of the stuff that Kinect would use, we make fun of the Kinect, but
right.
And
And we should, but
right. But people use it, as motion tracking technology,
absolutely.
To help with a lot of different diseases.
Yeah,
And bone degeneration. It's
for sure.
it's kind of interesting, and I'm glad somebody's fighting for it that's in a position
Right.
where the voice can be heard, I think.
Obviously, steps on this have been slow. There's a lot of laws you have to get through to try and do that. So instead of starting on making emulation free and legal, because it's already free, he's starting on having a team of experts that their job is to preserve old games. And under his leadership, they've already created an archive for preservation of manga. They already had one, Japan did, for preservation of novels and CDs, which people could go and digitize their own version of at any time. And so this is just an expansion of that. And he wants to be able to include games where anybody would be able to go and download a game onto a flash drive and be able to take it home and play it, an old game, to preserve it. And he wants to also include social games, such as like website games that are no longer playable, like the Neopets games that you can't play anymore, and things like that. Unfortunately, not Gacked, because he's another weird outlier for copyright. But if you don't sell a game, you can't complain about the country. Yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense. But
yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to be careful.
Yeah,
because it can't all be free.
Right.
I think that's something that's almost expected now to be free.
Right.
I think it's hurt. There's industries that it's hurt. I think the music industry,
for sure,
need to get knocked down. Probably need to get knocked down a peg, but for everything we expected free, than putting out these artwork, because I believe video games are art just as much as a novel or a song or a painting.
Yeah.
For getting no recompense for that, this doesn't really work either. So I wonder how they're gonna go, because you have copyright laws. We have stuff that's free,
right,
in the public domain.
Yes.
Because after a certain amount of time.
Yes.
Now it's 80-something years, and if you know the history of it, you know what company is responsible for that length of time.
Right.
Being so long. So I wonder if they're gonna have a second set of determining factors for the length of time the game's been out.
Yeah.
Like, Pong should be free now.
I agree.
Been out long enough to be free.
That'd probably be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's yet another reminder that, hey, piracy's not the problem. Weird restrictions are the problem. So moving on from there, we have Guild Wars 2 dropped the roadmap for future content for the rest of this year, which is pretty dang cool. They also dropped an update today that adds in another Living World episode and is part of this roadmap. Basically, as part of this roadmap, they announced that on today, July 19th, they would be adding world boss improvements to a bunch of the early world bosses, actually giving some of them mechanics, because one of them just didn't have mechanics, as well as updating their design and giving them better rewards so people are more incentivized to want to do them. Mainly the early game, like the starter map world bosses, but a couple others as well. Upgrading raid rewards, where now if you do a raid once a week, even just one with a challenge mode on, you get 2 gold for free. Just, hey, here you go, which is the same as your daily reward for doing achievements. So, like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good incentive. And then fixing some stuff with Mistlock, as well as fixing a couple PvP issues. I don't know if you remember when I talked about Professions update. One of the big things they didn't fix was how strong Willbender and Necromancers were in PvP. They fixed how strong Willbenders and Necromancers are in PvP. So hopefully that makes PvP good. Then they've got August 2nd, Festival of the Four Winds will be coming, as well as the Kralkatorrik legendary skin variants, and another balance update, which should bring Warrior and Elementalist back up. And then August 23rd will be the 10th anniversary. We talked about this when it was first announced that the 10th anniversary was going to be on the 23rd, that people were excited and talking about expansions, and I said it was way too early for that, because End of Dragons came out this year. But, we'll see. And then somewhere in there, there's also going to be like a core update to the game, which I assume is going to be the Steam release.
Oh.
And then finally, the September 13th will have episode 4 of Living World Season 1. So some pretty cool stuff going on there.
Yeah.
I've been still. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to ask you that. Do they have a set patch day that they each week they're going to put this in, or
not really? It just seems to be when the patch is ready.
Okay.
But I've still been playing Guild Wars 2, of course. I didn't talk about it during my week because not really anything to say. I started working on my legendary, my first legendary, which is the legendary rifle, the Predator, and that process. It's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I got all excited because I got the first part, which you have to craft the precursor weapon. And I found out that to get the precursor weapon, like to get the stuff to be able to craft it, you have to do a collection achievement. And so I was like, all right, I'll go around the map and do a collection achievement. This will be great. I'll go to all these cool places and get this cool stuff. Some of it's tied to events, so I had to wait for events. And then some of it's tied to fractals, so I'm going to go into fractals, do those, which are like dungeons. And that's just the first step. And then I need a huntsman that's at least level 400 crafting. My huntsman is like level 200 crafting, so I got to get that pushed up to 400. And that's just the first step. Then I have 2 more before I get to craft it. And according to Guild Wars 2 Efficiency, the website that lets you look at all of it, it's going to cost me somewhere close to 200 gold to do the whole thing. And I have 50 gold right now, and I get 2 gold a day for doing achievements. So I got to do a lot of meta events and do some gold farming to be able to get that finished. But then I'll have a legendary weapon that I can use on any of my characters that I can change the stats whenever I want. It makes the ground explode under my feet when I walk. So
that's nice. It's always handy.
So yeah, that's MMOs, right? Places like Nintendo develop their own emulator. So yeah, if Nintendo would sell me an emulator that let me play an entire console's library of games, we'd be golden. Nintendo and I would buy all of those. But since they don't, I'll just play them on my PC. I mean, on my original hardware, of course.
Well, I think that's where Nintendo sells itself. Nintendo is a hardware company.
Yeah.
And not a software company.
Yeah.
However, they make all their money off selling hard copies or selling software.
Yes.
It's a really strange kind of setup.
It is.
And Nintendo, we're probably picking on Nintendo because it's definitely the oldest.
Yeah.
And they brought so many firsts to the gaming industry.
Yeah. Next up, we had TennoCon for Warframe. And we talked a little bit about Warframe stuff earlier. I want to give you a quick recap of TennoCon moments. It's every year they have a big convention in-game, not in person, where people can get free stuff. And I missed it because I forgot it was happening at all. But they announced, the first thing is the Duviri Paradox, which is coming in winter. You'll be playing as... So they announced not that long ago that they were making a new mode where there would be story modes in there where you had to play as an NPC so that they could make sure that people had the moveset they wanted for that story, because your Warframe can be kitted out however you want to build it, which means that for more story content, you're just blitzing through there. And they wanted to really hammer home some of these story moments. And so there's still plenty of story moments where you get to play as your Warframes and have a good time. But this one is going to be one of those where you play as a specific character, known as the Drifter, and you'll get a horse. You'll get an alien horse, which is really cool. It seems like a pretty interesting setup. It's going to be in a black and white world where there are, as they put it, strange color-shifting landscapes. I'm really interested in that.
Okay.
I'll for the first place and make it where there's a... Yeah, for sure. But they won't because money. So that seems like it's going to be cool. That's coming sometime in winter. Then Veilbreaker is coming soon. No date given. Where you'll get to play as Call again. Call 175. Very cool character. The man just loves to shoot his gun. He just has a good time. He's great. I love Call. Yeah, it's just more of Call's story. I don't want to spoil that for people who haven't done it yet. Then there's going to be crossplay, cross-save, and the mobile version. And the mobile version should be coming sometime at the end of this month. But crossplay and cross-save will be sometime at the end of this year, which would be incredible. It would be great to be able to cross-save that. I moved the Xbox into the bedroom, my Xbox One, and it would be great to be able to cross-play that with cross-save in the bedroom when I'm not feeling good instead of just having to play on the PC. So
yeah.
Then, of course, we had Soulframe that we talked about, and then the team transition that we talked about, and they rolled out Korra Prime in case people want to pay for that. The Primes are really weird. So for anybody who doesn't know, the way the Prime system works, you can buy a Prime for money, or during set windows, different Prime versions of frames are available, and you can grind out the parts for those. It's really not that difficult. It is a luck chance, but you can up your luck chance.
Okay.
So it's really not that hard to get them. It just takes time, or you can just pay for them. And that's where they keep the game free to play. And the Prime versions are just like stronger versions of the base versions. But the PvP mode is not, you don't get the extra stats for that there. So it's just for PvE, really. And they have like gold effects on them that look really cool. Korra Prime, her cat, has gold effects on her, which is cool. Then they announced the Titania Donut collections, which look really cool. And they announced the next Warframe is going to be a wolf-inspired Warframe that's a werewolf with a big jaw on his shoulder that is breathing out smoke that is in the form of a wolf. And his concept is done by Joe Madureira, whom did Uncanny X-Men, Darksiders, and more.
Very nice.
And this is because they're teaming up with Airship Syndicate, who did Darksiders Genesis, Battle Chasers Night War, and Ruined King, the League of Legends story, to be able to get Joe Mad to make this Warframe.
Okay.
I want a werewolf Warframe. That's all I'm saying. Please give me a werewolf Warframe. I will go back to that game today if you'll give me a werewolf Warframe. Say that 5 times fast. Werewolf Warframe. Then Styanax, the 50th Warframe, has been announced.
Be right back.
Okay. Which is seemingly pretty cool. We don't really know anything about it, but it's just, hey, here's a Warframe. It's champion of ancient mythology. So could be cool, could not be cool. We'll find out. There's, until it's already gone, but there was a specific hood that you can get for super cheap. And then they still have their Prime stuff going out, and that's pretty much it. It's some cool stuff coming, cool new frames coming. Werewolf frame, horses, Warframe continues.
You had me at werewolf and horses.
I mean, I'm super down to ride a horse on my werewolf Warframe.
I'm interested to see the designs they come up with for the mounts on the horses, what they're going to be like.
Me too. This next story is a weird one. Sony has bought Repeat.gg, and I did a bunch of research for this, and I don't know who these people are. I followed the game industry stories. I looked at Sony's blog, and Repeat.gg claims to be a tournament entry site that allows people to get paid to play games. But they don't have any teams as far as I can tell.
Interesting.
It's more like you enter the tournament through their site and then they show you what the prize pool would be. It's like they're a connection site. When I give you the list of... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm wondering if it's a purchase by Sony to shut this down.
Could be. When I give you the list of available games that they have, you're going to go, oh. Because it's only 5 games strong.
Okay.
And it's Call of Duty Warzone, of which they say they have 14 tournaments. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, of which they say they have 2 tournaments. Dota 2, of which they have 12 tournaments. League of Legends, of which they have 12 tournaments. And Fortnite, of which they have 1 tournament. Now, here's my issue. If I go to the League of Legends one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's ad time again? Ad time is here to stay.
It does seem like it would be a very interesting access point.
Yeah,
for Sony control.
for sure. I want a werewolf Warframe that can turn into a werewolf. A werewolf frame. Warframe wolf. Tattoo ad. Nice.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. The Wolframe. Yeah, exactly. Wolframe. There we go. So, if I was to tell you that this place was hosting tournaments, because that's what it claims to be doing.
Yeah.
How much do you think the prize pool is going to be for these tournaments?
I don't know, 50K. If
you win it. 3K for the Fortnite tournament. 10K for the League of Legends tournament.
Oh.
1K for the Dota tournament. 2.5 for the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds tournament, and 1.5 for Warzone. Now, my question to you is, if there's a tournament place out here throwing around 10K for League of Legends, how come we've never heard of them before?
Well, I don't know. It seems they're throwing tournaments, and it don't sound like very big tournaments.
No.
I mean, I've seen local Magic tournaments with that prize pool.
Yeah.
Or around that prize pool.
Because they steal the money.
Right. I don't know. It seems like a strange purchase on one hand, and then on the other, if Sony controls all these portals for tournaments,
yeah,
that's great advertising for Sony as well. Just how the purchase may been made by these studios. This one kind of off a bit.
A couple other things that have me confused. It's free entry to all the tournaments.
Okay.
And every single one of them lets you connect your account from the game to this website to be able to enter seamlessly.
Yeah.
So my gut says, oh, go ahead.
Well, now it's starting to sound like information gathering.
Yeah. So I was going to say, my gut says they're selling your user data to be able to fund these tournaments.
Yeah. That's the business model.
But it's just a weird thing to see, like, Sony buy a networking tournament site.
Yeah. We'll have to see what they do with it.
Yeah. For sure.
All right.
They've got a weird thing, too, where if you go under their brand section, they've hosted more than 75,000 tournaments. They've had more than 4 million entrants and more than 60 million games played on repeat. And then apparently they're in a partnership with Totino's, GameStop, the U.S. Army, Papa John's, and Turtle Beach. I've been in this business for a long time. I've never heard of this company.
This is starting to sound more and more like a PR buy.
Right?
This is very interesting.
So yeah, we'll keep you abreast of that as more news drops on repeat.gg. But yeah, just a really weird thing. Just a quick reminder, the eShop for Wii U and 3DS will be closing March 2023.
Yep.
A couple quick things about that. If you want to try and preload a bunch of stuff on there, don't forget that you can only load up to 300 games at a time. Even if you have expanded the memory, your console will not handle more than that. It will just start deleting them. In which case, I'd firmly recommend that you look into a little website called 3ds.hacks.guide.
Okay.
So that you can turn that feature off.
Oh yeah.
Throw that out there.
That's a weird thing.
It is. It's a really strange thing. The 3DS is really not that old. I know it feels like it is, but it's really not. And
well, this also seems like something that could be adapted.
Yeah.
You've got the or integrated in the Nintendo shop.
Yeah. Why is that stuff not on Switch?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I don't know. Also, for anybody that wants to do that, don't forget that you need to pick up a copy of Pokemon Picross, which is free on eShop. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, just a weird thing. You'll still be able to use your console. You just won't be able to download anything to it, and you won't be able to access the internet. But that also means you won't be able to get banned. So just throwing that out there.
Silver lining.
Just keep that in mind. Yeah, no. From there, we get our last big story for today. I do have something that has just been dropped into my lap from a Twitter message.
Oh.
Which I can throw in here. But we'll go ahead and we'll cover this first.
Okay.
The Steam Deck also cannot take the heat. Valve has put out a tweet. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It seems like such a no-brainer.
Yep.
In the most basic computer, you've got two enemies, right? Heat and dust.
Yep.
That you gotta control.
Valve put out a tweet saying that for our friends in the midst of a heat wave, a quick note about the Steam Deck in high temperatures. Steam Deck performs at its best in ambient temperatures between 0 and 35 degrees Celsius. If the temperature gets higher than this, Steam Deck may start to throttle performance to protect itself.
Man.
Now, just for our people that are in the U.S., Celsius to Fahrenheit. Let me make sure I get this right.
It's from 32 to about 98.
Yeah, 32 to 98.
Yeah. The I could
I
start
have
selling water cooling kits for the Switch and the deck, Steam Deck.
So even when we're not in a heat wave, which we are, don't get me wrong, we're in a time of extreme heat in the U.S. and the rest of the world, honestly, especially the UK right now. Even when we're not, we surpass 95 regularly here.
Especially, through summer, July and August, easily.
Yep. Also, there are multiple parts of the country that drop below 32 regularly.
Yeah.
What do you mean it can't handle basic temperatures? I don't get it. Why did you make a device that will explode?
And the Steam Deck, this is supposed to be portable, so is a Switch. I mean, it's one thing if you're like, do not play outside, but this is, this is supposed to go with you.
Well, like right now, even with the air conditioner on, it is 96 degrees in this house, which is 1 degree more than what it recommends.
And you're going to raise the ambient temperature when you turn that thing on.
Yep. So, and it's 8:41 at night here, and it's that. Like, you imagine trying to play it at noon? It feels really backwards to me to just not be prepared for those eventualities.
It's kind of weird. They should have had the cooling issue is something that should be in original plans.
Yeah.
How
is it that my phone operates fine at these temperatures? As long as it's not in direct sunlight. But the Switch and the Steam Deck don't.
Because you don't have a GPU on your phone.
I guess so. But
it's still, it should be, the cooling issues are always going to be a problem.
Yeah. At least the Steam Deck's letting us know early.
I guess. It seems like this should be a thought out issue already.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, also, as people are pointing out, it's between 40 and 43C in most of Europe right now. You literally just can't play portable devices right now there. Not even phones. If you're outside, you just can't do it. Like,
Oh,
so. And then I had this story dropped to me real quick on Twitter. Won't take
okay.
long to cover.
Right on.
Dead Cells has also dropped a roadmap. And for anybody who doesn't remember, Dead Cells had its official release last year. Right at the end of last year. Really, really good game. Has had free updates over the years of it being in early access and some paid updates. This roadmap is pretty crazy. I'm reading it mostly for the first time right now, but they're saying that this summer, which is now, there's an update already in the alpha for the game, which will be adding the Pan Chaku weapon, which is Pan Nunchucks, for free, and a new outfit based on animated trailers, as well as rebalancing a lot of weapons and items, reworking the legendary system to make it more intuitive and interesting, and a Soul Knight weapon and outfit. You'll be able to pet pets.
The important one.
Yeah.
The important update.
That'll be free. And then in fall, they're adding a boss rush area. That'll be free as well. There'll be another update coming before Christmas that will be a surprise update. They're not going to say what's going on there. And then they're saying that 2023 will be the most exciting year in Dead Cells history.
Man, did they just get an infusion? Did somebody buy them? What's going on?
I don't know. And it's really weird because the way they word this is we won't be slowing down. In fact, we'll be stepping things up. It's going to be our biggest year since the 1.0 launch, and we're thrilled to show you what we've been cooking up behind the scenes. We're in the midlife of Dead Cells. We're not leaving it behind. We have plenty of life in us before our knees start to give in. So prepare yourselves for more Dead Cells content.
Okay.
Which is
Sound
pretty
like
great.
they're excited.
Yeah. I'll play with the Panchaku. You can pet the pet. Yeah. So just a cool little thing.
All right.
Let's throw it over to Rungrit's Corner.
All right. Well, we got to start off with birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, happy birthday, Mr. Pinkyland.
Yes. I got that. I'm sure he's watching.
I'm sorry for that joke, by the way. I know everyone makes that joke when they see you. I just can't help it.
Well, at least I didn't call him Benadryl Cumberbatch.
That's true. That's very true.
Now I found a story today. Go to the tab. So, where'd it go? Here it is. Here we go. So, we'll talk about squirrels.
Okay.
Now, in the UK, they're having problems. They're running out of red squirrels. Red squirrels don't see it. The gray squirrel, however, is population is exploding.
Okay.
So what they've decided to do is create a squirrel contraceptive. The environmentalists in the UK are struggling to deal with the overwhelming onslaught of the tree climbing rodents.
Okay.
Yeah, and they said the article from Audi here says the traditional method of dealing with the squirrels is rather brutal and straightforward cull. Now, I think the pointing at saying brutal and straightforward is kind of that's an opinion.
Yeah.
On that. But they're saying that a cull is not an effective solution.
Right.
And it may not be. So they have come up for the gray squirrels with a contraceptive. Now they didn't make tiny squirrel condoms and hand them out. That would have been great.
That's what I was looking forward to.
This drug, computer models show that the drug could completely eradicate squirrels in a given area as long as new squirrels don't immigrate in, which I don't think they want to do.
Right.
The vaccine's effects aren't permanent though. So after a while, after after they stop the
dosing.
taking it. Yeah, after they start dosing, once they get everything back under control, the population back under control, they can kind of help it. Now, here's the thing. This is kind of a big deal in population control of animals in the air. They were trying to figure out how to get it to the squirrels in their system.
Right.
They found the best answer was Nutella or hazelnut spread. Apparently gray squirrels go bananas for stuff, and 70% of the areas visited, 70% of an area's squirrels visited, traps loaded with the treat.
Are you telling me that someone has to go out there and spread this stuff?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Who has to go out, spread this stuff around. Now there has been it seems that
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining a conversation where, what do you do for a living? Oh, I spread out the hazelnut spread so the squirrels stop breeding.
Yeah. I got what's with all the Nutella? I don't. Now they say this contraceptive will work more like a vaccine.
Okay.
A kind of vaccinate squirrels against by using the drug loaded Nutella. But the environmental say is very badly needed, as the gray squirrels are actually a plague on the forest in the UK. And if you've been to like 100-acre woods, it's not 100 acres anymore. Sherwood Forest is not that impressive. I haven't been there since 1982, right. But it's not as big as you would think it would be. There's believed by some estimates to be over 2.7 million squirrels, gray squirrels, in the UK. That's making, they say, making short work of the trees.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they really like the tree sap as well as Nutella.
Yeah.
And to get to the sap, they strip away the bark, and eventually will kill the trees if enough of them do it. And also with the decline in the red squirrel population, the gray squirrel population, which is exploding, is bringing down the red squirrel, I think.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make sure the gray squirrels get the Nutella, Nutella contraceptive, but while the red squirrels don't. So they're gonna have experts on this.
Yeah.
You'd be an expert Nutella spreader. One of the big questions that have come out of this, though, is why can't humans have a Nutella flavored contraceptive?
I mean, yeah, why not? Right at that point.
Yeah, you've made it for the squirrels.
Yeah, just
now give it for.
Look, that would solve a lot of our problems. Honestly, just here we go. You're at the store, you got your Nutella, and then right next to that, you have your Nutnella, and there you go.
No Nutnella. That was. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you want to talk about some birth control? Clip that, put that on YouTube. Oh, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, news that the world needs to know.
I don't think I've laughed that hard in a while.
I don't think I'll ever be able to look at a jar of Nutella the same way.
I agree. Oh man. Oh, okay, yeah. You have any plugs?
Go listen to my songs. Go listen to my songs on the channel. Look at Rungren. We'll have them. After that story, why not plug myself?
Yeah. Oh man. Trying to get a link for people. I'm working on it. I'm getting the link. Not on Yahoo, God. Apparently I'm not. Hold on, I'll get it from Google. Google will not let me down.
No.
Even better, I'll get it from YouTube.
Okay. Do that, because the album will be coming out on August 14th.
Nice.
The next set of songs on that. Second album. I'll go on that. How about you? Anybody you want to point out to the world?
I'm gonna plug Wendigoon again this week.
Okay.
Because he did a really fun series on the Divine Comedy. And I think whether you are religious or not, I think the Divine Comedy is a thing that everybody should go through at least once. And if you don't have the patience to read it, you can listen to Wendigoon tell you about it. It's not perfect. He doesn't go through everything, but he covers the vast majority of it. And it is such a weird, cool story of a man's trip through hell, purgatory, and heaven that has some really weird decisions in it. And I fall back on every time the idea of, hey, if I'm writing a book about hell and I get to pick who's in there, why wouldn't I pick all the people I hate the most? And it's like, Dante, what are you doing, man?
You know that guy? I know that guy. I recognize him.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really fun channel. He also introduced me to the Mandela catalog, which is the other thing I want to plug. I don't know if you've looked into that at all or not.
Yes, ever since yes, this is some people relate it to the to CERN.
Yeah.
Once they started smashing particles.
Yeah. And I'm gonna link that for everybody here too.
Yes, it's 411 Iceberg is pretty good.
Very nice. The Mandela catalog, for anyone who doesn't know, is a really fun YouTube horror series that I say is fun. It's legitimately frightening in some ways. And the amount of editing that has gone into it is crazy. But when it comes to YouTube horror, I don't think I've seen anything this good yet. And I love stuff like the SCP Foundation, stuff like the hypnagogic stuff and everything going on there. But Mandela catalog just goes into like, I don't want to spoil it for people, but like, there's some really interesting like ideas on what if this instead that I think the Mandela catalog does. That there are moments even now where I take the dog out and I get back in and it takes me just a second after I let the dog in to close the door and spin around to lock it, right? And in that second, in that brief second, my brain goes, but what if an alternate knocks on the door? And it's like, no, we're good. But it's just like the Mandela catalog just gets into your head, man. It's really cool.
There was a guy that did what is his shit? The Y Files.
The Y Files.
Yes, he's got he's done a few videos on a couple of different things.
Yeah.
Pointing out, what are hoaxes and what are right. You simply don't let them in.
Don't let them in. Exactly, yeah.
Let the right one in.
Lock the door. And then you hide.
But like they kind of goes over some horror stuff because I believe they did. It was them. It might have been Wendigoon. Because the dead internet theory.
Yeah.
The internet is Potemkin Village.
Right.
And a few others. That were, I think, they're part of the one of the iceberg videos.
Yeah. No, I'm falling back down the rabbit hole of YouTube horror, and I think it's so cool too because, we've been around YouTube for a while. I've been on YouTube for a while, and back in the day, we use that phrase. YouTube horror was not that good, right? It was Herobrine, and it was with Minecraft, and it was the early stuff, and then FNAF came out and kind of surprised people by being a video game series that actually handled horror in a really cool way that isn't the jump scares. The jump scares, I think, actually take away from the horror in that series. And that made people go, hey, what if we made our own YouTube series with horror, though, that's not about that? And some good stuff that's come from that.
Slapped Ham. There's a few channels that cycle around there. Lazy Masquerade is another one. And the
Long Man. Oh, Slender Man. We don't talk about the Tall Man because a lot of people go, well, Slender Man was just made up for the internet, right? He was made up on 4chan. Well, he was, but he's based on a German folk story that I got told as a child about the Tall Man. I'm terrified of the Tall Man. My grandmother made sure I knew about him. I will never forget the phrase, Never look into the woods alone. Not go and look into the woods alone. Or the tall man will be waiting there for you. And once he's seen you, he does not leave.
He's a peeping Tom.
Yeah. With really long arms. Kidnaps children. But yeah, I'm a sucker for horror, even if it makes it where I can't sleep for a little bit. And then I'm just like, yeah, you know? But I know there are some that I guess I should have given a trigger warning for horror there. I know there are some that don't handle it as well. But if you do, check out Mandela Catalog because it's really good. If you have a problem with horror, though, do not check out the Mandela Catalog. There are very few. I've been through the entire SCP Foundation and never had a problem sleeping. And there's legitimately, after watching, I think it's episode 2 of the Mandela Catalog, the stuff with the false shepherd, with that image, I was like, okay, that image is burned into my brain. But it also helps that it's a statue that you see at first, and I'm terrified of statues. Yeah, we should probably wrap up before we get into my fear of statues. Now there's going to be comments that are like, why is he afraid of statues? Da, 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 da. I've told that story on the podcast, haven't I, when I worked for DirecTV?
No, maybe a while.
So when I was working for DirecTV, I had seen, obviously, the episode of Doctor Who called Blink, right? Where the statues were alive. And I was at this lady's house installing her DirecTV, and she had Weeping Angel statues in her garden. She had 3 of them. I went up onto the roof to install the antenna. I installed the antenna. Everything was going great. I come back down off the ladder, turn around, and the statues are gone. So I go into the house and ask the lady, where did they go? She doesn't know what I'm talking about at first and is like, where'd what go? And I'm panicking even more when she says that. I'm like, look, lady, I'm not trying to freak out on you now, but you had 3 statues in your garden before. She said, oh, yeah, the gardeners moved them. But for like a solid 6 minutes, I was convinced these things had moved on their own and were going to murder me. So,
very nice.
Night of the Living Dead's a great movie. It's a great, the original black and white one. But, well, I guess we could probably wrap up soon.
Okay.
We'll be back Thursday with more D&D, more Mordekainen's Monsters, and working our way through there. For anybody who's like, man, it's taking them forever to get through that book, that's because we're enjoying it. We're not just rushing through those stat blocks. We're talking about those monsters.
Absolutely.
And then Monday, we'll be back with MMO Mondays with Lotro.
Yep.
And Tuesday, we'll be back with the podcast as usual. The Gundam discussion will go up as its own individual video for people that want to go back and watch that later. So please look forward to that. And then, just more stuff coming. I know there hasn't been a lot of content from me when it comes to individual videos other than podcast highlights. It's because my girlfriend was sick and then I was sick. So look forward to that changing either the end of this week or the start of next week as I roll out some more videos because I got stuff I'm excited to work on. So
very good.
With all that said, though, I've been Trey.
I've been Rungan.
We've been the Full Spectrum Podcast. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum of life.